Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here and joining me today. If you will, like, share, and or comment on the post, and then you can join me in Acts chapter 21. We're going to look at verse 7, just one verse, taking up one day of the life of Paul. The previous verse told us they boarded the ship and returned home, or they returned home as he makes his way back to Jerusalem. It says, when we had finished the voyage from Tyre, we arrived to Ptolemy, and we greeted the brothers and stayed with them for one day. Talk again about something that has come up repeatedly, I know, in looking at Paul's life, and perhaps you don't want to hear it again, but I'm just bound by the text here to bring this out once again. Paul has just been warned of again danger, of a threat to his life. He has just taken a journey, a trip, and again, this wasn't a Bahamas cruise ship. This would have been hard sailing, and again, it tells us he's only there for one day. But yet, we see Paul again, rather than relaxing, rather than taking a day off, he goes and he greets the brothers. And I want to assure you that when it says he greeted the brothers, that doesn't mean he came off the ship like a homecoming queen, waving to everybody. I believe what was going on is that he went and sat down with them. He talked through the gospel with them. Anybody that didn't know about Christ, he shared the gospel. Those who were followers, he worked to encourage them, to answer any questions that they may have, to help them to become more deeply rooted in the gospel. And I realize that the passage doesn't say that, but I think any of you who have been with us through the first 20 chapters and 6 verses and watched the ministry of Paul knows that that was his heart. And it's hard to believe that when he came to this city that he did any differently than he had done previously. Because it is obvious from reading the book of Acts that the well-being, the spiritual health of believers was constantly on the mind of Paul. He had two main objectives: reaching people with the gospel, those who didn't know Christ, working to share the gospel with them, and those who did know the gospel, helping them to put down deeper roots, helping them to become more grounded in their faith. And so, again, Paul has just been warned about the plot in Jerusalem, but his desire for evangelism and discipleship override any of his fears or anything else that would distract him or deter him from his mission. And we all know this. This is probably the understatement of the day. But what a marvelous example Paul is for believers today. That he just continued to press forward, as he would say later, pressing on towards the mark, towards the high calling of Jesus Christ. That some would hear the gospel, that those who have already heard the gospel would grow in their walk with the Lord, and that should be our model. We really have two reasons. There's only really two purposes that God has left us here, and that is to reach people with the gospel and to help those who already know the gospel, who already know Christ, to grow in their faith. And so I'll leave you with that challenge today. How are you doing on those two two challenges on those two purposes that Paul so often and diligently exemplifies to us: sharing the gospel and discipling others in the faith. That's our purpose. How are we doing in that? How are we doing with our coworkers, with our own family, in carrying out those two objectives? Think about it. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.